Welcome back to All About Winning Daily Fantasy Sports. Week 12 is in the books, and in this video, I will recap Week 12 and take a look at the lines and totals for Week 13. Before we unpack and recap Week 12, I did want to mention that I hope someone was able to utilize the player pool that I had created for Week 12 and put it together for a significant return on your investment. I say this because each week I use the lineup from the winning Millie Maker as a measuring stick to compare the lineup that could have been created from my player pool. I am happy to announce that Week 12 was the third time that my player pool, as well as an optimizer, created the lineup that outscored the eventual winning lineup for the Millie Maker, and by a significant margin, 241.48 to 229.18. We will dive into this a little later in this video, but first I want to recap the top 5 scoring for each position in Week 12. The top 5 quarterbacks were as follows. Ryan Tannehill, who scored 33.36 points. Sam Darnold, 31.20 points. Jameis Winston, 29.32 points. Baker Mayfield, 27.58 points. And Drew Brees, 26.44 fantasy points. I should mention that the top 5 quarterbacks were all 5-0. They won their games straight up. The top 5 running backs were as followed. Leonard Fournette, 36.90. Christian McCaffrey, 34.30. Derrick Henry, 32.50, Nick Chubb, 28.40, and Rashad Penny, 21.90. Wide receivers, Chris Godwin, 40.40, Jarvis Landry, 39.80, DJ Moore, 34.40, Michael Thomas, 29.10, Allen Robinson, 28.10. And wide receivers were 4-1, and I had all 5 of the top 5 wide receivers in my player pool. Tight ends, Zach Ertz, who scored 27.10. Jared Cook, 21.90. From the Giants, Caden Smith, who scored 12.70. Gesicki from Miami, who scored 11.8. And Logan Thomas from Washington, who scored 10.40. Defensive special teams, Redskins led the way with 21 fantasy points, followed by the Jets with 18, Seahawks 17, Tampa Bay 16, and the Buffalo Bills 13. As I mentioned, I used the winning lineup from the Draftkings Millie Maker as my measuring stick. This was the winning lineup for the Week 12 Millie Maker, and it's right here on the screen. This particular entry had Baker Mayfield, who scored 27.58 points, Derrick Henry, who scored 32.5 points, Bo Scarborough from Detroit, who scored 8.8 fantasy points. His salary was fairly low at 4,200, and so he was just looking for a savings there. Jarvis Landry, so he put Landry with Mayfield, scored 39.8 points. DJ Moore, 34.4 points. James Washington from the Steelers, 18.8 points. Jared Cook from the Saints, 21.9 points. Nick Chubb to go along with Mayfield and Landry, so he had a 3-player team stack going, and he had 28.4 fantasy points, and the Seahawks defense special teams who scored 17 points. So that was the winning lineup right here. Here's the total ownership was 100.32, so it's just average. It's not high, it's not super low, so average total ownership. You can see the ownership numbers over here. He scored 229.18, and his salary used was 49,900. Now, in comparison, I don't have it on the screen here, but utilizing the player pool I had created, and you can go back and listen to my lineup building video from Saturday, you could have created this lineup, which would have outscored that particular lineup. Mayfield at quarterback, who scored 27.58. Running backs, Leonard Fournette, who scored 36.90, and Derrick Henry, who scored 32.50. Jarvis Landry to go with Mayfield, 39.80. A.J. Brown from Tennessee, 26.50. Chris Godwin from Tampa Bay, 40.40. Had Tyler Eifert. He was the low scoring. He was only 3,100. He only scored 1.70 fantasy points, but I had a lot of exposure to him, and you could have fit him in there and kind of had like the savings that the winning lineup had using Scarborough to free up to spend in other areas. In the flex position, Tyler Boyd, 23.10, and defensive special team, Buffalo, who scored 13 fantasy points. That would have been a total score of 241.48, and the total salary used was 49,800. I did not have this lineup, obviously, because my smile would be a lot different, and I would have already probably had a different take on this as far as on YouTube for you guys. But I really hope, if it's not me, I hope to hear that someone sometime eventually is either able to cash real big or take down a contest they're in, no matter what kind of contest, GPP, head-to-head, double up. If you had some luck using my player pool, please feel free to post any opinions or comments below. I'd really like to see how it's working for you. But I encourage you to just go back and listen to that lineup building video. The winner was there. I don't mass multi-entry. If I could, I would. That's why a lot of people do it. If you have the right player pool and it spits out the combination, then you're in business. So one day I'll get there. It just makes sense for now. I build my lineups manually. I use an optimizer just so I can see the different randomizations of the players that I have in my player pool, and I take it from there. But kudos to, and I hope to hear that someone was able to use this and as I mentioned, have at least a decent return on your investment this past Sunday. So once again, if the bullfrog had wings, it wouldn't bump its butt when it hopped. So a look at Week 13 features 3 games on Thanksgiving: Chicago at Detroit, Buffalo at the Cowboys, and the Saints pay a visit to the Atlanta Falcons. I'll be doing a showdown video on each one of those games tomorrow, so you'll have that, and then I'll work on putting together the videos for this week's main slate. I might do them in a different format as far as putting them all together. Maybe try to cut them down a little bit and put them all together, and maybe shorten the amount of videos, but still have the same amount of information as far for each position. There'll be 11 games on the main slate. There's 3 games Thursday, and then you have the Sunday night and Monday night as well. A quick look at the lines and totals is as follows, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the Thanksgiving Day lines and totals. They do have on DraftKings a 3-game lineup, classic lineup contest going, plus the showdowns, plus they have a tiers contest as well on Thanksgiving. But Chicago visits the Lions. The Bears have been installed as a 3-point favorite, and the game total is 38.5 points. I'm not sure if Detroit's going to have Driscoll. The last I seen, he still had a questionable mark beside his name. If not, they're going to have an undrafted rookie. I believe his name is Blalo. So that could be something if you're playing showdown, and I'll get to this when I do my showdown video. But this might be a situation where the Bears really tee off on the Lions. Buffalo visits the Cowboys. Cowboys are 6.5-point home favorite. The game total is 46 points. And the Saints visit the Atlanta Falcons in the evening game on Thanksgiving. The Saints have been installed as a 6.5-point road favorite, and the game total is 48.5 points. The main slate on Sunday features the following games. There are 11. Oakland at Kansas City. Kansas City is a 10-point home favorite, and the game total is 51 points. Tampa Bay visits Jacksonville. Tampa Bay is a 1-point road favorite with an over-under of 48.5 points. The Los Angeles Rams visit the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams have been installed as a 3-point road favorite, and the game total is 47 points. San Francisco is at Baltimore, in what should be a really entertaining game against 2 teams that are in the top as far as projected to go to the Super Bowl. This could be a Super Bowl preview as well. Baltimore is installed as a 6-point home favorite, and the game total is 46.5 points. And I'll never underestimate Lamar Jackson again on a showdown contest. Green Bay is at the Giants. Green Bay is a 6.5-point road favorite. The over-under is 45.5 points. Philadelphia is at Miami. The Eagles are a 10-point road favorite. The game total is 45 points. Tennessee visits Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a 2.5-point home favorite. The game total is 43.5 points. The Jets are at the Cincinnati Bengals, who are going back to Andy Dalton, and they held on. It was my you heard it here first on Saturday during my lineup building. I thought they had a chance. It's I guess a humble victory of sorts. They were touchdown underdogs. They covered the point spread at home. It's not a win. They had a chance to win, and they played tough. That was their Super Bowl. But every game here on out is a Super Bowl for them because they don't want to be. They've already tied the record for the franchise worst start in the season now that there are no wins and 11 losses. But the Jets visit as a 3.5-point road favorite, and the game total is 40.5 points. Washington's at Carolina. Carolina's a 10-point home favorite with an over-under of 40 points. The Chargers visit the Broncos. Chargers are a 2.5-point road favorite, and the over-under is 38 points. And Cleveland visits the Pittsburgh Steelers in the rematch of the helmet game. Cleveland's a 2-point road favorite, and the game total is set at 39 points as Pittsburgh makes another quarterback change. They're going to Devlin Hodges, who actually relieved Mason Rudolph of his duties Sunday as they were struggling against the Bengals. So this video is pretty short, and that about wraps up what I have for the recap and the look ahead at the lines and totals. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate you tuning in. My subscriptions are trending upwards, and I really encourage you, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. My viewership is going up, and that's a good sign. I have a lot of things planned for this channel, a lot of things that I want to do, and I'm really needing to grow my subscribers and viewers. I encourage you, as I mentioned earlier, to please post any comments or opinions below, something you want to see. Like I've rolled out the last few weeks some information utilizing some charts, something you want to see, something you think I could add, just any comments or opinions. I welcome them, and I try to get back to each of you with your comments. And it helps me out a lot if you would share this video, like it, as I mentioned, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified when my next video posts. That really helps me out a lot. I'll also be doing the showdown videos, as I mentioned, the Chicago, Detroit, Buffalo, Dallas, and New Orleans, Atlanta. I'll be trying to put all three of those out tomorrow so you have them for Thanksgiving. And I hope you and your families all have a very happy Thanksgiving. I'll also be putting together the information that we need for the Week 13 main slate. Thanks again for joining me. My name is Ty Patton. This is all about winning daily fantasy sports, and I'll see you guys real soon.